Welcome to the Vault Excel and thank you for your time. A week ago, information has come to light pertaining to a judge out of Hawkins County, and he just so happened to be the same judge that presided over the Wells children case, the children related to Summer Wells. I'm going to go back in time and read you that said gag order that was issued by this same judge, who we now can say is a dirty judge. News 8 is the source. This is 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. Gag order placed on Wells children case report says a judge has placed a gag order on a case involving the brothers of missing Summer Wells. This was uploaded November 2nd, 2021. A gag order has been placed on the case involving Don Wells and Candace Blythe's children, according to a report from CBS affiliate WJHL. The two are the parents of missing 5-year-old Summer Wells. The 3 Wells children were taken into custody by Child Protective Services in July. Wells would not confirm to WVLT News why his children were taken from the home when asked. The order was issued by a juvenile court judge, Daniel Boyd. Once again, that order was issued by juvenile court judge Daniel Boyd, October 26, WJHL reported. All parties to this action are hereby prohibited from discussing this matter or the children with the media, non-essential person, entity, and or uninvolved disinherited parents and or persons. WJHL spoke to Randall Collier, the circuit court clerk in Hawkins County, who said the order was put in place because the children were involved. WJHL also reached out to legal representatives for clarification on the order, since cases involving children are normally confidential anyway. Wells was recently arrested on driving under the influence charges. This is from November 2021. Let me make that clear. I bring you this information because it's relevant anytime a person is involved in a case pertaining to children or any other case where there's a missing child, missing person, children taken out of the state's care. It is relevant because now he has some serious charges which are felonies. And I found it interesting that this county has lawyers and judges holding the same title, which I didn't know that happened. You could be a judge and a lawyer in the same district. Is it because of a small town? I don't know. But I'm going to bring you information pertaining to Mr. Boyd and what he's being charged with. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody, in the chat. And congratulations to Miss Serena Williams and her husband, Mr. Alex Ohanian. They now have another baby girl. Name has not been released to the public yet. Thank you all so much for joining me. Please go to my community board to take the poll pertaining to Tori Spelling. We hear that she's living in an RV. Is this karma coming back to her from many years ago? Dallying around with a married co-star who she ended up dating. He ended up leaving his wife. And Tori said some not so nice things about his wife at the time. And now she's having a lot of hardships. Children are being sick from an alleged house with mold. Maybe she doesn't have money. We've also heard of her having money problems. And her father was a multi-millionaire, Mr. Spelling, Aaron Spelling. I watched a lot of his TV shows growing up, so I find it strange his daughter has no money. Naturally, all the money was willed to his wife because he had a wife at the time, which is the mother of Tori Spelling and her brother. But why is she broke? I went in the comment section. Many people were rooting for her, but Angela went back in time, remembering some not so nice things she said about a man's wife at the time, how he chose her over her. So what I'm asking you is this karma? Because she and that man now are no longer playing house together. Mr. McDermott, they've decided that now the children are in a better place. They will go their separate ways. So is this karma coming back to Tori for dallying around with a married man? He was also her co-star in, I believe, a Lifetime movie. She talked very ill of his wife at that time. And then thereafter they married. And through the marriage, they had a lot of problems, financial problems, which I find strange because he is also an actor. So why would you two have financial problems when both of you were in the entertainment business? Please take that poll. Let's go to my community board. We're going to read some information pertaining to this Judge Boyd. Pertaining to that poll of Tori Spelling, and is this karma coming back to her? 80% of you said yes, and 20% of you said no, 5 votes. Channel 10 News is the source pertaining to this judge lawyer being indicted on forgery and bribery charges. He is also the judge that handled the Wells children case out of Rogersville, Hawkins County. Thank you all so much for joining me. Let's hear this commentary. This is about a week old information. He's gone to court today, and I will read you that said information. This content was uploaded 7 days ago. I'm bringing you an update pertaining to Judge Daniel Boyd. 1 second, everybody.
The juvenile judge and attorney on charges of bribery and forgery. Back in May, TBI agents say they started investigating Daniel Boyd. Investigators say the suspect was working as a lawyer. He provided a client with paperwork about a divorce with a signature from a chancellor that was forged. When the client filed a complaint, agents say their suspect offered that woman money to withdraw the complaint. The TBI confirms earlier today Daniel Boyd turned himself in to the Hawkins County Jail.
So here we have a man who was dealing with a client on a divorce case with a forged signature from a judge. Why? Why'd you do that, Mr. Boyd? You're supposed to be upholding the law. And I still find it strange that you're a judge and a lawyer. It's very weird to me. I've never heard of such. But I've learned when you're dealing with small jurisdictions, you're liable to have all type of crazy nonsense going on and people having 12 different titles, kind of like the guy working at McDonald's is a lawyer slash gardener. You all see where I'm going with this. Very crazy nonsense. Let's get some more information about this Mr. Boyd. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $McAngie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are welcome during this live stream. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hello, Sammy. Hello, Joel. Thank you so much for joining me. The RogersvilleReview.com is the source. This was uploaded today, 1 hour ago. Juvenile judge suspended, pleads not guilty in forgery, bribery case. Hawkins County Juvenile Judge Daniel Boyd, who was suspended last week as a result of his indictment on forgery and bribery charges, pleaded not guilty Tuesday afternoon in Hawkins County Criminal Court. Boyd, 47, of Rogersville, appeared for arraignment Tuesday in Hawkins County Criminal Court before special appointed Judge Kelly Thomas from Knoxville. A November 3rd announcement date was scheduled. Boyd, his attorney Wayne Culbertson, and Attorney General Barry Stavis agreed that if a plea agreement is reached by November 3rd, that will be a plea date. Repeat, if an agreement can be reached, plea agreement, on behalf of Mr. Boyd by November 3rd, that will be the plea date. Otherwise, a trial date will be set. So will he take the plea or take it to trial? He's pled not guilty, so I would see him taking it to trial unless something else comes up between now and November 3rd. Boyd was named in an August 14th Hawkins County grand jury sealed indictment, charging him with 3 counts of forgery, criminal simulation, and bribery pertaining to alleged crimes that occurred in his private practice in 2022. He is accused of forging the names of Chancellor Doug Jenkins and clerk and master Brent Price on a default judgment of divorce on October 7, 2022. The indictments also allege that Boyd attempted to bribe a witness, which is a female, who was expected to be called before the Tennessee. No, I don't think it was, excuse me. I mean to say the woman bringing forth the complaint is a female. So I guess I would assume that this witness is also the person he was trying to bribe. Once again, he attempted to bribe a witness who was expected to be called before the Tennessee Supreme Court's Board of Professional Responsibility during a disciplinary hearing this past April. Boyd was served the sealed indictment warrant on August 15th and released from Hawkins County Jail on a $40,000 bond. On August 16th, Boyd was officially suspended from his juvenile judge position by the Tennessee Board of Judicial Conduct. The suspension notice states that the Board of Judicial Conduct has the authority to suspend any judge charged with a felony. The suspension notice further states, in this instance, the board has determined that the public interest and proper administration of justice warrants placing Judge Boyd on interim suspension until further orders of the board. County Mayor Mark DeWitt said the county commission can't appoint an interim juvenile judge until the September 25th meeting to allow enough time for public notice to be given. In the meantime, Sessions Judge Todd Ross will be filling in alone with another interim juvenile judge from Knoxville, DeWitt said. DeWitt noted that the county will have to pay Boyd's salary as well as the salary of the interim unless Boyd either resigns or until his criminal court case is resolved. It puts us in a financial strain on the county while we have to pay Daniel and the substitute, DeWitt said. Boyd was appointed juvenile judge in 2011, which is part-time position until January 1st, 2023. While it was a part-time position, Boyd continued his private practice. As of January 1st, the juvenile judge salary went from a 2-day per week position at $68,348 to a 5-day per week position at $170,869. The RogersvilleReview.com is the source. Thank you all so much for joining me. So we have a man who has had a private practice as a lawyer and also a juvenile judge, became a judge in 2011, meaning he was practicing as a judge for about 12 years. Don't know how long he had the private practice. Entrusted to do right by the people. That is your job, just like the judges trusted to do right by the people. He has forged names of a clerk and a judge on divorce documents, on a default divorce, which he knew was wrong. So now we have to ask ourselves, what other dirty dealings has he done as a lawyer and as a juvenile judge? Because if you will forge people's signatures, official applicant's name on a piece of paper, such as a judge and a clerk, you've done some other dirty stuff. 47 years of age, you've done some other dirty stuff, because you don't wake up at 47 forging names on a divorce document. What was so special about this divorce that you thought it was okay to put a judge's signature on it? And what was strange about it that made this woman go ahead and file a complaint with the county? Because maybe somebody finally saw the paperwork and realized, oh, I didn't sign this. Oh, I didn't sign it either. 2 forged names, a judge and a clerk. And this woman has every right to sue the county and sue this lawyer / judge. And we also have to ask, what other dirty dealings has he done? Because he was the judge presiding over the Wells children. Do not know if he is still presiding over that case up until this incident took place, because we don't have any information about those children and where they went and the status of their relationship with their parents, Don and Candace Wells. Has he done this type of behavior before with other legal wranglings in the juvenile system and as a private practicing attorney? This is bad. Mr. Daniel Boyd, you know better. And there's been so much negativity coming out of East Tennessee, Hawkins County, Rogersville, because of Summer Wells missing. No update to her whereabouts. No updates to the case. A sheriff that most people probably don't trust. His son coming up on sexual abuse charges. And now here you come to add fuel to the fire as a damn juvenile judge / lawyer that's dirty, forging names and stuff, and also bribing a witness. Let me throw that in there to boot. Not just forging 2 names, official capacity. These people had official titles. You also tried to bribe the lady, I guess it's a lady, to not file the complaint with the court. You must be the dumbest person breathing. That's my set information. The Rogersville Review is the source. This is bad. Please go to my community board to take the said polls. I will put up a poll, I do believe, pertaining to this nonsense as well. I had on the tip of my tongue what I wanted to say. I had forgot just that fast. This ain't good. This ain't good at all. Same judge that ordered, put in an order for a gag order for the Wells children and the family not to speak and no one to speak about the case. And now this same person has been accused of bribery and forging names on a divorce document. Why? What was so important that you had to forge these people's names? That's what I'd like to know. You knew the person that she was trying to divorce. What was the problem? I don't know. Was somebody divorcing the wife? You knew the male? I'd like to get the 411 on that divorce document, why you felt the need to get involved and forge those names. And that's going to lead us to wonder what else you have done in your years of practicing law and being a judge. Oh, I know the question I wanted to ask. Should he be getting paid? Because that's the information that's relayed in this Rogersville review. The county now has to pay Mr. Boyd's salary, which is about what, $170,000, if I'm not mistaken. Go back in and see that again. $170,000. Almost $170,000, $170,900. Full-time judge versus being only a two-day judge at $68,000. They now have to pay a judge from Knoxville to fill in, an interim judge, until this issue is rectified either by a plea or he takes it to court through trial. Will Mr. Boyd go to trial or take the plea, resign from his position as judge? He also will have to probably face disciplinary as a lawyer because he has now broken the code of ethics and will have to go before the ethics committee pertaining to being a lawyer, forging documents. So he's got himself in a real pickle. Because you're going to be going before this board, that board. But the sad part is they're still paying him. Do you think it's right that the county is still paying him? Because he has been suspended as of today. He had a hearing. Should he still be making money from the county at $170,000? Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me. I will put the link down in case some of you nice young people like to come up, give me your opinion pertaining to this debacle out of Hawkins County. Once again, more shenanigans out of this small rural area. Just a little ways up the highway from the Queen. It's pretty pathetic. But as they say, no peace in the valley. Indeed. Hello, Jess. Hello, Patricia. Thank you for joining me. One second, everybody. I know you all hear those cicadas in the background. Yes, we still have bugs chirping along. And it's very warm in the South right now. We're supposed to reach in Middle Tennessee, East Tennessee, heat index 100 to, I believe, 115. So if you are out and you live here in this area, Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, please be aware of the hot weather that it will be boiling out this week. Make sure you stay hydrated, drink a lot of water and fluids, and please stay out of the sun. And this is for children with asthma, elderly adults, and those with health problems. Please stay out of the heat if you can. Thank you all so much for joining me. Once again, Miss Serena and her husband have just welcomed a new baby girl. They now have two girls. under their wings. One second, I want to put this down here for you guys in case somebody want to give their opinion. Hope you all are well. And as I said, staying out of this humid weather. It gets very humid here in Tennessee. That's the said information. Let me go put this poll up for those of you who want to take it. How many of you are following the Dinkins trial pertaining to the murder of an 11-year-old girl? I was listening to it briefly today. It's just a hot mess. A hot mess. I'm posting this now. All right, everybody. Please go to my community board and take the poll. Should Hawkins County government pay juvenile judge Daniel Boyd's salary while suspended? And under that, I have, is Tori Spelling's failed marriage and money woes, karma coming home? You all have now raised it to 6%, saying yes. 14% says no out of 7 votes. And once again, Miss Serena Williams and husband have a new baby girl. Very interesting information. And also, Judge Glenda Hatchett addresses the sheriff's guilty plea in groping case. We'll see how much time he gets for pleading that out. And I've also posted to my community board 7 hours of video pertaining to the Dinkins trial. WQAD News 8 is the source. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Breathless, for joining us as well. Thank you all for tuning in. I won't hold you all long, but I dropped the link just in case somebody would like to give their opinion pertaining to this judge's dirty deeds. And as I said before, he is the presiding judge, or was the presiding judge, over the Wells children's cases, the boys who were put into the state's care, Hawkins County Department of Human Services. He is that same judge that ordered a gag order over those boys' cases. And he went from a part-time judge to a full-time judge, and he also practiced law in his own private practice, which I did not know that you can legally do that, be a lawyer and a judge. Of course, we know that lawyers become judges, but I did not know you could practice both at the same time. I had no idea. The link is in the chat if you want to join me to give me your opinion. Tell the viewing audience your opinion pertaining to the allegations against this Mr. Boyd. I want to make sure I had the right StreamYard. They had a lot of confusing letters in there. Yes, Linda, it's a joy. They have 2 girls now. They haven't released the name of the little girl. If any of you are following the Dinkins trial, please give me your opinion pertaining to the information that was released in court today. I thought it was so sickening to hear this lady read off the autopsy reports of the little girl, talking about where she was shot in her neck 3 times. It's just hard to fathom a grown person killing an 11-year-old child, 10-year-old child, for what reason? I do assume it is nefarious in nature why he murdered her. The reasoning for murdering her was because he was involved in dirty deeds with the child, because that's usually the only time people kill children. It's because they do not want the child to testify to seeing something, hearing something, and or sexual acts with an adult. And we've learned this with rapists. They end up killing victims as so they don't testify and bring forward charges down the road. And I won't doubt that's what happened with the 11-year-old girl. It is sickening to hear him sit in the interrogation room at that time years ago, claiming that's his child. Well, Breasia was not your child, Mr. Dinkins. DL was your child. And you're sitting there putting on with the detectives when you know they wanted to check your phone records, as to eliminate you as a suspect. And the fact that you were telling the detective, I can't believe you all think I would be a suspect. Make me out of a suspect. I care for these kids, blah, blah, blah. I've been a daddy to them, blah, blah, blah. She's mine. They're mine. No, she was not yours. And you didn't have the right to be fathering any child or taking care of a child. And I also like to question that girlfriend, because allegedly the mother or grandmother, somebody said that she was afraid of the dark. So what I have to ask myself, why would a child be standing outside talking to a grown man in the dark if she's afraid of the dark? Why wasn't she upstairs with the brother? Because that's who she went over there to the house to be with, was the brother. So why would she be downstairs allegedly alone and the brother's inside of the apartment? Stay woke. All I want to hear is, do they have DNA linking him to the victim, the trailer, her DNA in the trailer, RV, whatever, and does his phone ping at the location where she was discarded? That would be enough for me. Because if they can show that you were out in the middle of the morning, your phone pinging where she was found, any evidence left behind to discard her, that's enough for me. And I got a feeling that is going to be introduced in court. His phone pings at the location en route to where she was dumped. And it's hard listening to someone say in court, the child was shot 3 times. It's disturbing. All right, everybody in the chat, give me your opinion pertaining to Mr. Boyd. He is now on suspension with pay. He will either plead or take it to trial. The fact that he is claiming not guilty, which most criminals will, knowing that they're guilty, he may just take it to trial, but he would be a fool to take it to trial and have 12 members of the jury see the documentation of the forged divorce paper, and then also have this woman testify that he tried to pay her, I believe it's a woman, to not file a complaint with the courts. And I'd like to know why he would risk his own career and livelihood to forge a divorce paper. What entanglement does he have with the other party to risk his own livelihood? $40,000 bond to only be what? Disbarred and also removed as a judge. And you won't be able to practice law or be a judge in the state of Tennessee or nowhere else, because you have violated the code of ethics, most definitely. Forging documents and then trying to bribe a witness, pay a witness off. You can't stoop no lower than to take a life. Very sick. Hit the link. Give me your opinion pertaining to Mr. Daniel Boyd, juvenile judge / lawyer. Was the judge for the Wells children who were removed from Don and Candace. He is the judge who exacted the gag order almost 2 years ago. Now he is suspended with pay. Should he be getting paid by Hawkins County government? Because they now have to pay him his salary plus an interim judge from Knoxville, Tennessee, which I do not think is right. And you heard this man saying it will be a burden for the county to now pay 2 salaries. I don't think they owe him a damn dime. But that is your right as a defendant to go to court to prove your innocence. And that is what he is doing. That's what he will attempt, I guess, to do. We will see by the time November 3rd arrives, which is just around the corner. We're almost at September. We will see if Mr. Boyd will just do the right thing, plead guilty, and go away somewhere and hide in a corner. See, you don't know people. And so a lot of people are going to be talking about this story because of all the shenanigans with Summer Wells, her still being gone, no information to her whereabouts. People are going to question everything coming out of Hawkins County right now. Sheriff's Department, these judges, lawyers, people that work for the clerk's office, people that work with juvenile court. And that's sad because everybody's not bad just because somebody else decides to do something wrong. But now you have a dirty judge who happens to be a judge over the children who were removed from the Wells. You have a sheriff that some of us may not trust. He has a son that's with a dirty bird, sexual assaulter. Doesn't mean that, Mr. Lawson is a sexual assaulter, but it gets people talking and it gets people assuming. And naturally, it's wrong to judge people according to what their relatives and friends have done wrong. But what you have to ask yourself is how much wrong is going on in this judicial system up there in Hawkins County? How far is this rabbit hole of dirty judges, dirty lawyers, judicial? How bad is it? And why don't we have an answer pertaining to this young girl missing? Parents who seem oblivious to what has happened to her, don't care, running around, still talking smack and junk, never searched for the child, never ate it one time. 2 years now, child still missing. Should Hawkins County still be involved in the case of Summer Wells? That's another video I may make, or I can discuss it here since I'm just 33 minutes into this live stream. Should it just be TBI investigating the disappearance of Summer Wells? Because naturally, jurisdictions can ask for help from U.S. Marshals, CIA, so on and so forth. But who is the lead on the Summer Wells case? I'd like to know. And do you think Hawkins County should be involved in the investigation of this child? Should TBI be the lead if they're not already? That's my question. Very sick. So much has happened pertaining to the disappearance of that girl. It's very sad. Those cicadas, they are going full force tonight. Well, that's my update pertaining to juvenile judge Daniel Boyd. He has been suspended with pay at $170,000. An interim judge from Knoxville, Tennessee will be presiding over the juvenile cases in the Hawkins County jurisdiction. Mr. Boyd has been charged with bribery and forgery, bribing a witness, and forging 2 names on a divorce document, a clerk and a judge's name. He has pled not guilty. He has until November 3rd to enter a plea or take it to trial. That's my said information. As I said before, what else has been going on up in Hawkins County judicial process that is not above board? Any other judges doing things they don't have any business, law officials taking bribes, stealing, coercion, theft, witness tampering, evidence tampering, removing evidence, planting evidence. How bad is this going to go? Yeah, so far so good, Miss Jenny. Thank you for joining me. Excessive heat warning, temps near 100 with high humidity. Make it feel like 110 on Wednesday. Birmingham, Alabama area. Please be aware. They have a heat advisory down in the state of Alabama. Middle Tennessee as well. I live here in East Tennessee. And we are also advised to be aware of the heat index this week. I did not venture out today because I was not feeling good today, and I was not about to tackle the heat and do anything. I wasn't going to do this live outside, just so I could have a peaceful background to bring you the information, but I decided to go ahead and just live stream from the house. No need in going out in the heat because I'm sure it's humid and sticky out there now. Take the polls on my community board pertaining to Judge Boyd and Tori Spelling. Miss Spelling is having financial difficulties. She's had 6 children. House had mold in it, had to move out. She's staying in an RV, and she and her husband are divorcing. Do you believe this is karma from she messing around with him many moons ago when he was married? She talked very ill of his wife at that time. I never appreciated that because I feel like you're already doing wrong. You don't go on national TV talking about somebody's wife and you're sleeping with their husband. So molded house or not, financial woes, that's still on you and your husband because both of you in the entertainment field, you shouldn't have been broke. You're spending your money wisely. You should always have a place to stay and money in the bank. That's how I feel. Because you all had access to money when there was no COVID and when there was no financial issues with our economy. We did not have problems until 08, 07, 08. So you should have been living well and still living well. Even if your house had mold, you still should have been able to move out of that place, get another place, and or refurbish the house and get the mold out of that house, which I know is, it's very expensive to do depending on how big your home is. But you all were having problems way before we had economy issues, COVID issues. You all have marriage problems as well. What happened? I don't think Mr. McDermott was carrying his weight as a man. I think he assumed she's a rich girl. Her family has money. They'll help foot the bills, push us along, and we'll live off of her dead daddy and mommy's money. But it doesn't work that way. The mother obviously didn't want to give Tori any money for whatever reason. And I always thought that was strange. You're a multi-millionaire from a dead man who was a TV mogul at a major production company, Mr. Aaron Spelling. Why are your children without funds? They should have had trust funds and given to them at a certain age. That man was worth over $100-something million, I'm sure. There's no way his children should be without money. And if you spend it wisely, invest it wisely, you should be able to live off of it, working or not working. That's my opinion. Please go to the community board and take the said polls pertaining to Ms. Spelling and the judge, juvenile judge, Daniel Boyd out of Hawkins County. He has been suspended with pay He has until November 3rd to enter in a plea and or take it to trial. I put the link in the chat if you want to come up to give your opinion pertaining to his indictment for bribery, forgery. It is a felony, so he can lose his position as a judge. And naturally, he can be disbarred from the Law Association here in Tennessee. Once again, if you're following the Dinkins trial, please give me your opinion pertaining to what is happening. No takers? Well, I'm going to get off of here. But that's my update today. I saw this briefly, and I thought, mercy, what a mess. So as I said before during this live stream, how deep does the rabbit hole go pertaining to Hawkins County judicial government? Are there any other improprieties done by law officials, judges, lawyers? Anybody doing something pertaining to the Wells case? Any hiding of evidence? Not bringing forward information? Witness tampering? Threats? Do we have some more dirty birds in this Hawkins County judicial system? Will we ever get information pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells? Will there be an update? Will there be an arrest? Will somebody finally come forward and tell the truth without trying to get attention and fame and clout off of the disappearance of a child that many of us believe is deceased? Will we ever hear about the children that were removed from the Wells custody house? Where are they? Are they safe? Are they happy? Are they together, all of them? Are the Wells permanently removed as custodians of the children, getting the children back? I don't think they deserve them. They didn't deserve to have Summer. They didn't deserve to have the boys. They were not good role models. And to this day, they're still not good role models because they have not aided in the help in finding the child. They've done nothing but exacerbate a very sick situation by being on YouTube and Facebook and TV shows and just made a mockery out of the disappearance of their child and also the custody of their boys. They have shown they do not care for children, period. They're not good parents, period. And they had no business procreating. And this is what you have right now in the world. One sad story, and next door is another sad story, and across the street it's another sad story. There are thousands of Don and Candaces walking around breeding children and have no regard for them and no intent in rearing them properly. I see it every day and I hear it every day. Just witness it today. Two goofballs fighting with small children in their peripheral. No regard for them. Children crying because their stupid parents are arguing and fussing and doing God knows what else. It goes back to what I just said. You don't have no business rearing kids. You have anger management issues, mental issues, PTSD issues. You should stop making kids because somebody has to rear those children and they didn't ask to be here. And if you are a presiding judge and you are nefarious in nature, you don't have no business with that position. You're a dirty lawyer, you don't have no business having that position either. I'm calling a spade today. Checking all points. Bow out. I think a lot of people need to hear this. Relationship not working, bow out. Can't perform the job, bow out. You don't like the job, bow out. But don't go around mistreating people and committing crimes on the job, in the position. Just bow out. Can't take care of your children? Then take the necessary steps to find them adequate care. This is a lesson for all, no matter your circumstances. Know when to bow out. You'll live longer and you'll feel better. And nobody has to agree with the decision that you made, because in the end, you have to stand account for your ways to the Maker and while you're walking this earth. So don't worry about what other people think. But all this is a travesty. Having a man preside over children's lives, and he's up here bribing witnesses and forging documents. This is very, very bad. And what he should have done was told the truth and ended the situation. He's just exacerbating and making it worse for himself, Mr. Daniel Boyd. You know what you did. They've got proof you did it, and that's why you were indicted. They didn't indict you because they were bored. And now the county has to pay 2 salaries because you want to prolong the inevitable, because you want to keep getting that damn money. You're talking about almost a $200,000 salary, where there are people out here who don't have jobs, nowhere to live, homeless, drug addicts, which that's a choice. People having to move out their properties because people are buying and selling them and going up on the rent. And you're sitting here getting almost a $200,000 salary from a small jurisdiction to do absolutely nothing but play around with documents and forge people's names and bribe a witness because your ass is caught. That's the American dream. Everybody else suffering while somebody else is milking the cake. They're getting the whole damn cow while you're sitting here barely can pay your bills, your rent, your mortgage, car note, groceries, food, take care of your children. Somebody's getting a $200,000 salary to be a defrauder. Welcome to America. I want to thank you for joining me. God bless all of you. Have a safe week. Please stay hydrated. Please stay out of the sun, the heat. It will be very warm in southern states this week. Very high temperatures reaching 115 in the heat index. Alabama, Tennessee. Please stay out of the heat. Well, just me, would you like to hit the link before I check out of here? Because no one wants to give their opinion pertaining to Mr. Boyd this evening for some weird reason. If you would like to scroll up and hit the link, the https://StreamYard. Feel free to hit the link and give your opinion. If not, I will be checking out of here. Please go to my community board for the said polls. If I come up with another poll for another crazy situation, I will gladly post it before going to bed tonight. But please take the poll pertaining to Daniel Boyd. Should Hawkins County government pay him a salary while suspended? And is Tori Spelling getting karma back for the choices she made years ago by messing with a married man? He was a co-star in a movie, Mr. McDermott. They had an affair. They eventually married after he divorced his wife. And now they've had nothing but financial woes. Allegedly, she's living in an RV with her kids because her kids have become sick from a house that is now full of mold. Weigh in. Is this karma? What will become of the Summer Wells case? Does this dirty judge have any bearing on their case of the boys gone? Any more nefarious dealings been going on? Should Hawkins County Sheriff's Department be handling the Summer Wells case? Should it just be TBI? Thank you for joining me. God bless all of you. You have been listening to the Vault XL.